Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class, probably the last but final class, or the second last class, last but one. And first, let us start with Mangalacharan prayers. So I will share my screen. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I will share my iPad screen and then we will continue. Okay. So we are in the most important section of entire Bhagavad Gita. So thank you all for joining. Thank you so much for making it so far into the Bhagavad Gita. And this is most likely the second last class. I don't think it's the last class today. We won't be able to cover all of the verses, but we will see how much far we get. So
It's our blessings, sir.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita myself and share with you whatever I have learned. So last time we covered up to 18.62. So we will start from 18.63. Is my volume okay? It's okay, nice. So what we have covered is Guhya and Guhya taram. So 18.63, Lord Krishna says this. Iti te jnanam akyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. So I have maya, by me, or I have explained to you. Akyatam. So that is the verb. Maya is the noun. I have explained to you what? What is the object that I have explained? Iti, this is what? Guhyat guhyataram. So Guhya or Guhyad and Guhya taram. Akyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. I have explained to you this. Vimrishyatad asheshena yathichhasi tathakuru. Vimrishyatad means vimrishya itad. So these are two words, and vimrishya means think about it, deliberate upon it, consider it. So vimrishya etad or asheshena. I'm just writing it. I'm not writing it in IAST. Asheshena. And then yad ichhasi tathakuru. We will come to that. So Lord Krishna is saying, I have explained you these two things. I will share what that is. And then vimrishya etad. Vimrishya means think about it. About it. So it is etad. Asheshena. Asheshena means very carefully. Shesha means limited. Ashesha means unlimited. So in an unlimited way, but he's not, it doesn't mean that keep thinking about it indefinitely and forget about the war. It is not infinite from a time perspective, but very carefully or infinitely from the perspective of its completeness. Think about all the things I have told you. Don't focus on just one or two things that you are attached to. Think about everything I have told you. So think about very carefully or very deeply or very completely, very fully. So we can just say completely or fully. That is Asheshena. So Lord Krishna is saying, think about it very, very carefully, what I have told you. And then what you should do, then do as you please. As you please or as you want. Yad ichhasi tathakuru. Then do as you please. So this is 18.63. Okay. So let us see what are some of the important points in this verse. So now Lord Krishna is saying, I have explained you this Guhyad and Guhyataram. So what this Guhyad is, that information is all about the karma and jnana aspects, which have been summarized again in the 18th chapter, which lead to the Brahman realization. And this means, in a sense, the result of that has been explained in 18.51 to 18.54. So that is the Guhya Jnana, which leads to Brahman realization. So 18.54 itself said, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. Samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. So in this stage of Brahman realization, one is reached, or one comes to this stage, becomes eligible for this stage through the 51 to 53, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. We had covered all of this last week or the week before, I don't remember. But we covered all of these points, how one becomes eligible to attain Brahman realization and then finally attains and then performs bhakti. Or one, if there was no bhakti so far, it may have been latent inside, agyata. Apparently, it may not have been there externally, but then even in one's consciousness, bhakti starts at the Brahman realization stage. That all we had covered, but that is the Guhya Jnana. But the process for that is Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Nishkama Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, etc. Then Guhya Taram is 18.61 to 62. So these are the verses where Lord Krishna is talking about the Paramatma realization. where Lord Krishna says, Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tisthati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. So, Ishvaraha sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tisthati. So, the Lord is sitting, Ishvara is sitting in the hriddeshe, in the region of the heart. That is the Paramatma. So, that is the Paramatma realization. And to that Paramatma, you should surrender. Then he says, Tameva Sharana Gacha. Tameva Sharanam Gacha Sarva Bhavena Bharata. So this surrendering to the Paramatma happens as well. And that surrender had been referred to in the middle verses from 55 to 60, or we can say 56 to 60, basically, where Lord Krishna says that all activities should be surrendered to me. So that could be applied to Paramatma as well. So 18.51 to 54 is the Brahman realization, 61 to 62 is the Paramatma realization. And at this point, Lord Krishna says this is Guhyat and Guhyataram. And from Sanskrit grammar perspective, this is the first out of 3 levels. This is the second out of 3 levels. So whenever the moment somebody mentions taram, it means there is a pending level, tamam. Guhya, one can say this is confidential. Okay. But if you start saying it is good, better, best. So if you just say this is good, this is better, automatically, if you are tuned to this terminology, good, better, best, okay, then automatically the thought comes that there is a third level existing. So that is why the focus has been there on Guhyat, Guhyataram, level 1 out of 3 levels, level 2 out of 3 levels. This is level number 2. I have been telling you all this, Lord Krishna says, which means there is a third level, which obviously he expects Arjuna to know, but Lord Krishna is summarizing. And then he says, consider all of this very, very carefully and completely. And then Krishna says, Yat Ichhasi Tatha Kuru. This is a very, very important statement where Lord Krishna is demonstrating that he does not force. Krishna never forces jivas in any one direction. Never. So Krishna never forces. What does Krishna do? And what does, when we say Krishna, all the acharyas, all the gurus, everybody who instructs us in the same way as Krishna instructed Arjuna, they never force. What do? Instead, they give options and let us choose. So they give all the options, and it is not like a test either that, oh, I have 5 options, all of them look correct. And sometimes, you don't know which one is the right answer, you have to guess. Okay. This is not that kind of test where, or it's not like a lottery number, like you might have seen those games, which door, one door is empty, one door has some fish behind it, and the third door has a car. So it is not that kind of a choice either, where it is based on some random choice. This is like a multiple choice question in an exam. What that means is that if you have studied properly, if you have not studied properly, all of them look, they're random choices. Just like those 3 doors. Have you seen that game with the 3 doors? How many of you know what I'm talking about? There are 3 doors, and one door there is a, yeah, some people are raising their hands, right?
I have seen.
What is that game called?
Maybe Price is Right, I'm not sure.
Price is Right, okay. Something else, something like, I don't know. Anyway, so behind one door there is a car, behind one door there is some stupid object like a goat or a fish which nobody wants, and the third door is empty anyway. So it's a random choice, and or it's like a lottery or a pure guesswork. So for a unprepared student, even a multiple choice question looks like that. But for a prepared student, he immediately knows what is the right answer. And if given three choices, he immediately knows what is the other two choices are as good as non-existent. Only the right choice flashes in front of his eyes, and that's the choice he makes. The other two are very, very obviously incorrect. So that is the difference between when Krishna gives options. So they give options, but they let us choose. Still, we have a choice to choose the wrong answer if we want. But if we have the knowledge, we will choose the right answer. If we have the correct knowledge, and that correct knowledge is spiritual, usually the choice is between this: spiritual versus material. These are the two choices. So we will choose the right one if we have the right knowledge. And that is why Lord Krishna is saying, Vimrishyaitat asheshena. Think about very carefully everything I have told you, and then choose. For us, this is the one. Now, the three choices or the three levels that Lord Krishna has told are all in the spiritual domain. At the Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and the Bhagawaan realization. All three are spiritual, but again, Lord Krishna is saying, consider everything and choose very carefully. So Lord Krishna never forces jivas, and this aspect is the concept of Krishna allows us to use our free will. So this concept of free will is also very, very important. Okay. The point is that still, even though the choice may be clear, even though one may have the knowledge, okay, that this choice is the correct choice, but still one has the option of making the other choice. One has the complete freedom of making the other choice. Okay. So there's a subtle difference here. One can say, I have the free will, like in that game of three doors. It is random, and you have the free will to choose door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. And you can get whatever you want, whatever will be given to you at the end of the 3 of your choice, you will get that. That is one kind of free will. Another kind of free will is that knowing what will be there. If I choose this, this is what I will get. The door is not closed. The door is open. You can see what is there. Okay. You know what is there behind the door. And then you are choosing based on your priorities. There is nothing which is hidden from you. Everything you know. This is what you will get in this case. This is what you will get in this case. This is what you will get in this case. And that is our free will. So what does knowledge do? Please listen to this little carefully. It's a slightly deep concept. I will try my best to explain it. All right. So if we are choosing based on our past conditioning, material conditioning, okay, then one particular choice will be obvious. Okay. Please consider the situation of Duryodhana and Arjun. They both went to Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna had two choices for both of them. One of you will get my army, one of you will get me. Remember that? The choices are very clear. It's not a closed door option. It was an open door option. Do you agree? Both knew what they will get based on the choice they were offered. And who chose first? It doesn't matter, but Arjun chose first. And then Duryodhana said, I got saved. Thank goodness he did not choose the army, because Arjuna chose Krishna and Duryodhana wanted to choose the army. So both got what they needed. But the difference is Arjun chose based on his spiritual priority. His priority was spiritual, that Bhagwan Krishna is my dear Lord. And what is the point of having the army if it comes without Krishna? Arjuna was very happy to have the army, no problem, as long as it comes with Krishna. But if it does not come with Krishna, then the army is no use. I want Krishna. So his priority was Krishna. Whatever else comes with it is fine, is bonus. But the main choice is Krishna. So both got what they wanted. Both got what they wanted. Okay? And both chose out of their free will. Both chose out of their conditioning. So there is material conditioning and there is, you can say, spiritual conditioning. Are you following? It is a conditioning. If you become a pure devotee, it is a conditioning. You will act like a pure devotee. In the transition phase from material to spiritual, you have to put effort. Your mind will say, no, you should choose whatever. Let us say, one morning you can go to a bar to drink, not morning, let us say evening, to go and drink and have a nice time with your ruffian friends. Or somebody else will say, hey, let us go to the temple. Then you will say, no, I have been studying Bhagavad Gita for all this time. I should really, those are bad activities. It will degrade me. There is some kind of effort that is needed. Okay, so that is when free will becomes more apparent. What we also call as willpower. Remember, willpower. You have to put power. Otherwise, free will is basically, it is free flowing. Power has to be put when your mind is saying something, but your knowledge is saying something else. That is when you have to put the power. There is a tug of war. One side is saying one side is saying other, and now you have to choose. Are you following? Otherwise, there is free will, but it is free flowing. So for a ruffian, it is very clear. He will say, Arey, temple, who will go? When I will become old, I will do all that temple nonsense. Right now, khao piyo, mast raho. So let me go with my friends to the bar. Very straightforward choice. Are you following? So there is a transition period when we have to change our conditioning. But the point is that ultimately our swabhava, our nature, which may be of a devotee or which may be of a materialist, will automatically make the choice. The choice is not hard at all. This free will should not be thought of as something that requires willpower. This is a wrong concept. It should come naturally. Okay? The choices are obvious. It's like a prepared student. A student who is prepared will obviously know the right choice. There is no power he has to put. There is no effort he has to put. Oh my God, 10 minutes he is wondering which is the right one, this one, that one, this one. He obviously, by seeing itself, he knows the right answer. Okay. So the point is that it is really not a choice at that point. Then to choose the other one, even for a spiritual person to choose and make a material choice will be full of effort. He will have full of resistance to choose the material option. Similarly, for the materialist, it is a very effortful choice to choose the spiritual option. Are you following? And that is when the free will becomes apparent. Oh, I have free will. I have to choose one versus the other. All this dilemma, everything becomes so front and center. Otherwise, it happens automatically. We don't even realize. Are you following? So free will does exist. The point is the free will does exist, but our strong conditioning makes it as if it is full of effort or it is non-existent completely. Okay. So through knowledge, we must change our conditioning from material We can say conditioning, or we can say our nature, our priorities from material to spiritual. And then the free will flow automatically. The free will not become, then free will not require willpower. So what I wanted to do is to decouple this concept of free will and willpower. No willpower is needed to make a choice out of free will. The choice out of free will should flow completely freely. Once we have become properly situated, properly conditioned, we have done that practice, and we are completely in that mood, in that consciousness. Okay. So Lord Krishna is not asking us to make this yat ichhasi tatha kuru as if now you have to make a very hard choice. Once your consciousness is properly situated, making the choice will be completely straightforward. Completely straightforward. No effort, no hard work, no dilemma. Okay. Now, that is the point. So now comes 18.64. So why, one of the other reasons I explained all this is to lead to 18.64. So now in 18.64, what happens? Sarva Guhya, I will just read the verse, I will explain it. Sarva Guhyatayam bhuyah shrinu me paramam vachaha ishto asi me dridhamiti tato vakshyami te hitam. So tato vakshyami te hitam, Krishna says, I'm going to tell you something more. Okay, which is my shrinu me paramam vachaha. Please listen, my most important. All this he is saying. But in 18.63, he's asking a question. Or he is giving a choice. When you give a choice to someone, you wait for an answer, correct? So this is one of the very frequently asked questions. Why did Krishna continue to speak after 18.63? Why is that? All right. He has given a choice. Yat ichhasi tatha kuru. And he has spoken already so many, whole Bhagavad Gita has been spoken. Why he has to speak the next 3 verses, and you all know 65 and 66 are the most important verses. Krishna is saying shrinu me paramam vachaha. First he is asking a question and then giving away the answer. That what he says, mad manaha bhavamad bhakta sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. He's giving the right answer. He's not letting Arjun make the choice. He is forcing Arjun to make a choice. What he's saying in 65 and 66, he wants that to be the choice. He's twisting, arm twisting, kehte hain na, arm twisting. He's forcing Arjun. That is not the case. The reason is, please try to understand carefully. The reason why Arjun is speaking, continuing to speak, there are a couple of reasons which are described in 18.64 itself. But we must realize that for Arjun, the choice is very straightforward. So it is not like Krishna is manipulating Arjuna or anything. Krishna already made the choice. Sorry, Arjuna already made the choice when he chose Krishna. From that episode that I told you, he had the option to choose Krishna's whole 9 Akshohini Sena. And he chose Krishna. So Arjuna is a perfectly pure, 100% pure devotee. There is no contamination, there is no arm twisting, there is nothing happening. And why Krishna has given this statement then, yat ichhasi tatha kuru, is as a matter of, to explain to us, to the others who will read Bhagavad Gita, but as a matter of giving a choice to Arjun. You have the choice. It is like, I don't know if it's a right example, but in America, there is something known as Miranda rights. It's the 5th Amendment, and Miranda rights means you have to, when the police arrests a criminal, they have to read out these rights You have the right to remain silent, and or something like that. And what is that? Anything you say can be used against you, or something like that. You have to read it out. If the police forgets to say that before arresting a potential suspect, then the whole court case can be in trouble. So you must read out these rights. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that you have a choice. But he knows Arjuna is a prepared student. He is not going to make the wrong choice. And by telling him the next 3 verses is not going to, doesn't result in any kind of manipulation or arm twisting or giving a hint what is the right answer. So this concept should be completely taken out of one's mind, that Lord Krishna was first asking a question, then himself answering it, and asking Arjuna to choose that very answer. So this does not make sense. Okay. So that is the reason. And then another, so this is the sort of the philosophical reason. There is another bhakti reason to why Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, or in first asking the question yat ichhasi tatha kuru, then going forward and then telling him more about what is the right answer, that you should choose me. Maam ekam sharanam raja, aa jao mere paas, aa jao meri sharan le lo, come to me. So that will be explained in 18.64. So I'm seeing Shyamlila Mataji's hand raised. Is that from previous, or do you have a question, Mataji?
Prabhuji, I don't know, my hand seems to be stuck. It's not going down from my side.
Oh, okay. Let me try to lower your hand and see. Okay, there you go.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So let us see 18.64. So that is the logical answer, or the philosophical answer, as to the fact that Arjuna is a completely prepared student. There is no point in, there is no harm done when Krishna goes ahead and tells him the next 2 verses. There are other reasons. So first of all, 18.64, let us see 18.64. Sarva guhyatayam bhuyaha. So now comes the third level, sarva guhyatayam. So sarva guhyatamam, sorry. Now this is 3 out of 3, guhyatamam. Sarva guhyatayam tamam bhuyaha, another important word. Bhuyaha means again. Okay, so this also shows this is not a new information that is being given. If somebody is worried that the answer is being told now, that answer has been told before also. Okay, in the 9th chapter and 10th chapter, the answer has been told, and so many times in the subsequent chapters as well. So sarva guhyatamam bhuyaha, and then Krishna says shrinu me paramam vachaha. So the learning for us here is that Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna knows many people will read Bhagavad Gita, many people will in the future will analyze it, will scrutinize it, will do so many things. But Lord Krishna does not want anybody to miss the point as to what is the most important instruction of Bhagavad Gita. So he is putting it right there in the Bhagavad Gita itself, that what is the most important instruction. Shrinu me paramam vachaha. There is no doubt about what this sentence means. Shrinu, please hear, me, my, paramam, topmost, vachaha, words. Please hear my topmost words. How else can you translate that? Now I think I have shared this before. I have seen some YouTube videos and all of some other, from some other groups, some devotees, senior devotees, who give a lot of talks. 2 instances I will not name, who say top 50 verses of Bhagavad Gita, top 100 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has 700 verses. Even in the top 100 and even in top 50, these 2 verses didn't show up, 65 and 66. Okay. So from that, we can understand that they are not being, there is some other hidden agenda. They are not conveying the information what Lord Krishna wanted to be conveyed. Here, that is one clear red flag. Lord Krishna himself is saying, these are my topmost instructions, but you are overriding Krishna and saying, no, 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 you are saying this is topmost. No, 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 you are wrong. I will take some other instructions of yours to be the topmost. And then you can manufacture your own instruction. Why you have to take Krishna's instruction anyway? Just manufacture whatever you want. Don't call it Bhagavad Gita, but they want the brand name of Bhagavad Gita because people like you have faith in Bhagavad Gita. That is why you joined the class. We all have faith in Bhagavad Gita. So you want to use the brand name of Bhagavad Gita, but in a wrong way. Are you following? It is perfectly okay to manufacture your own agenda. Perfectly fine. You know, Hitler came up with his own agenda. I don't know, he didn't use Bhagavad Gita. He wrote Mein Kampf. And in that he said, we'll kill all the Jews. Okay, fine. That's his choice. He has a full right to write whatever he wants. But you cannot say, I'm going to write 50 most important or point the 50 most important verses of Bhagavad Gita and then omit what the author himself, Krishna himself, said as the topmost instruction of Bhagavad Gita. So this is cheating. Okay. So even in the Bhakti Shastri course that we do, these two are part of the verses to be memorized, isn't it? 65 and 66. You have to memorize these because these are, as per Krishna, the most important instructions. So, sarva guhya tayam bhuyaha, guhya tamam bhuyaha, shrinu me paramam vachaha, guhya tamam. Very, very important. Bhuyaha, again, shrinu me paramam vachaha. Now Krishna gives two reasons. Two reasons as to why he is speaking these two verses. Why he didn't stop at 63. Yat ichhasi tatha kuru. Please do as you want. And then he should wait for the answer. Now he will ask again in 72 and Arjun will answer in 73. Okay, so that is when the real question is posed. But here two reasons are given. Ishto asi me dridham iti. Ishto asi. Ishto means you are very dear to me. Me means to me, dridham. Very strong. Dridha means strong. And Ishta means friend. Okay, we call Ishtadev. Ishtadev means my friend or my very dear deity. Ishtadev. So you are my very dear friend. You are very dear to me. Ishto asi me dridhamiti. So that is first thing. Arjuna is very dear to Krishna. So Krishna wants to tell his most important instruction. Just in case Arjun may have forgotten. Arjun has not forgotten. He is the perfect student, but he knows we may be imperfect students, the future listeners of Bhagavad Gita. So he is giving us a wake-up call. If you are sleeping so far hearing Bhagavad Gita, now is the time to wake up and listen to the most important instruction. No problem if you slept so far. Now today you wake up. So, and the reason is because Lord Krishna loves Arjun very much. The second reason is for our benefit. Tato vakshyami te hitam. That this instruction is for your benefit. So it is for Arjuna's benefit. So Lord Krishna does not want Arjun to miss the benefit. Similarly, he does not want any of us to miss the benefit. Though these instructions may seem, when you see these instructions, it will sound a little as if the speaker is going to benefit. When we tell somebody, come and take my shelter, it is our benefit. No, I will get so many followers. Become my devotee, meri puja karo. Madhya ji, mam namaskuru, worship me. Namaskuru, please do namaskar to me. What will somebody think if you say this to them? Why didn't you do namaskar to me? He will say he's a very proud fellow. He's a very arrogant fellow. So that one may think that I am getting something out of it. So this is not for our benefit. Bhagawaan can definitely say this. Bhagawaan is not ashamed to say that you should surrender to me, because that is the right answer. That is the perfect path. Bhagwan is not trying to be extra humble or artificially humble to say that, oh, if I say this, people will think. If people think, and this point will be made in the 67th verse. This is exactly the point. Please remember this very important point, that one may think, oh, Bhagwan is so arrogant. He is saying, surrender to me. In Hindi we say, वो अपने तलवे चाटने के लिए बोल रहा है. Are you following? And one may become very anti, or one may become very against Bhagwan. All right. And that is why in 67th verse, Lord Krishna will say, no need to share these details with others. Keep it within the circle of devotees. If you go and tell outside people, those who don't have faith in Bhagwan, that he is Bhagwan, these words like surrender to me, Maam ekam sharanam vraja, Maam namaskuru. Kaisa Bhagwan hai ye? What kind of God is he? He is demanding respect. Bhagwan should be more like giving by showing by example. And then, that's why Lord Krishna then later appeared as even Lord Chaitanya. He never said, surrender to me. He himself showed as an example by surrendering to Krishna. He surrendered to himself. He came in the form of his own devotee. So that is another story. He's so kind that he never says, Maam ekam sharanam raja. Lord Chaitanya never said, surrender to me. He said, let us all together surrender to Krishna, even though he was Krishna himself. All right. But here, as Krishna, when Lord Krishna himself came, he did not have artificial humility to say, to prevent saying, don't, to surrender to me. Okay, so because it is for our benefit, ultimately benefit will be ours. All right. So, tato vakshyami te hitam, your benefit. So these are the two reasons. So that was 18.64, very, very important instructions, that this is guhyatamam and this is paramam vachaha. Okay. One can think, oh, guhyatamam, very, very confidential, but may not be very important. Something can be very confidential. Usually something that is very confidential is very important, isn't it? Otherwise, why would it be confidential? If you know something that is confidential, you can benefit from the confidential information. And if you want to benefit from it, means it is important to you. That is the logic. But even if somebody can come up with some strange logic to defeat that, he is adding this another point, paramam vachaha. Nobody should have a doubt that this is the topmost instruction. That is the point. Nobody should have a doubt. You try to attack it anyway. You cannot defeat this logic, that this is the most important instruction. No doubts, no way to attack this logic, philosophically or in any other way. All right, now let us discuss the most important instruction. 18.65, 66 are the most important instructions of Lord Krishna in entire Bhagavad Gita, which is why this class becomes the most important class of the entire series. So 18.65, first part, two-part instructions, 1 out of 2, part 1 and part 2. So part 1, man mana bhava mad bhakto madhya jimam namaskuru maame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. So Lord Krishna is saying, what is the first part of the two instructions? Do these 4 things. What are the 4 things? 1, 2, 3, 4. Mad manaha, man manaha it becomes, but it becomes mad manaha, which means put your mind on me. Okay. Fully focus your mind on me. Man manaha, mind, or we can say consciousness. Put all your consciousness on me, or in other words, always think of me. Same instruction as chapter 8. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. All the time. Mam anusmara. Think of me or remember me. Mam anusmara. Smara means smarana. So mad mana. Okay. So this is the first two are based on our consciousness. The second two are based on, so this is first two are internal. And the next two are our actions or external. Okay. And you have to do all four. Okay. So fully surrender. So that is the point. Fully surrender, fully focus our mind, always think of Krishna. And in what mood? Why is the second one important? Bhava mad bhakta. Was there somebody who was not a bhakta who was always thinking of Krishna? Is there somebody
Yes.
like that?
Yes. Kans.
Hiranyakashipu,
Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, all these
Kamsa.
people. Yeah, they are always thinking of Krishna or Vishnu, but are they in the mood of bhakta? No, they are 100% opposite, 180-degree opposite to bhakta. So the point is that not only it is enough to think of Krishna, but to think of Krishna in a mood of a bhakta, in a mood of a devotee, in the mood of taking shelter or surrender or in a favorable way. In the next verse, we will quote this verse from Hari Bhakti Vilasa. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam. So it has to be anukula. It should not be pratikula. Pratikul means unfavorable. Anukul means favorable. So this is in a favorable way. Bhavamad bhakta. As a bhakta. Okay. And there is a lot more. When we say bhakta, all the bhakti shastra, we say bhakti shastri, we are doing bhakti shastri course, but there are so many bhakti shastras. Bhagavad Gita is the first and foremost of the bhakti shastras. Then there is Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Acharyas have written other books, Upadesha Amritam, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and so many others. Chaitanya, all the bhakti shastras one must read, one must understand to know what does it mean to become a devotee. Bhava mad bhakta, how to become a devotee. So this is all given in the bhakti shastras. One must read the bhakti shastra, one must try to understand that. So there are, one very nice thing could be to follow the 9 processes of devotional service, the 9 processes which is known as Navadha Bhakti or Navavidha Bhakti. Okay. And there are so many other instructions and all that are given. Now 2 instructions Krishna will give right here. 2 of them, because Bhagavad Gita and now war is going to happen. So there is no time to describe the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days. Arjun doesn't have 7 days. So 2 processes will be given. What are the 2 processes? Madhyaji. Yaji means to, Yaj means worship, doing some form of worship, Okay. So this is actions or external. And there are so many nice forms of worship that are mentioned. And worship doesn't have to be very grand or very like a, full of gold and silver and this and that. It can be done free of cost. Completely free of cost worship can be done. So please don't think worship means too much elaborate thing. I have to reserve 3 hours and purchase all these 25 items, know all the mantras. Yes, that can be done. Definitely that can be done. But it can be done in a much more simple way, as simple as the 4th one. What is the 4th one? Mam namaskuru. The simplest form of worship. Are you following? Just like in the previous one, just so that somebody should not misunderstand Mad Manaha. Oh, even Kansa was doing Mad Manaha, so I will do Mad Manaha like Kansa. No, 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 no. Not like Kansa as a Bhakta. In the same way, one should not misunderstand Madhyaji as, oh, I have to do this elaborate, yagya, fire yagya, homa, this, that, all that, my whole house has to be turned upside down. Not like that. Even Mam Namaskuru is a form, the simplest form of worship. Are you following? थोड़ा सिर हिलाएंगे कोई लोग? समझ में आ रहा है? All right. Good.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Nice. So that is the meaning of. So when more detailed worship, etc., is not possible, then just do my pranam. How much time it takes? How much, and if your body is not old or something, you don't have to like do a dandavat pranam. You can just do like this. That is namaskuru. Just fold your hands like this. That is enough. How much it takes? So the simplest form. So nobody should misunderstand Madhyaji. Lord Krishna is giving a criteria, a lower bound. Just namaskuru. That is enough. But what should be there? In the mind, it should be bhavamad bhakta and man manaha. With that consciousness, if you do mam namaskuru, that is equal to doing 1,000 yagyas. All right? Thousands and millions of yagyas. The consciousness is very, very important. So consciousness and actions. Okay. So that is the first instruction. And very nicely, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, I just want to read this purport a little bit. Very, very nice. How can I do that? Where is Safari or any browser? Are you seeing this? So 18.66. What happened? Oh, not 66, 65. Sorry. So what does it mean to always think of Krishna? Okay. And we said here, right? Always think of Krishna. Always think of me. Focus your mind on me. Okay. That is what Krishna is saying. So there is internal consciousness, but there are external actions also. Okay. So in this regard, Srila Prabhupada is making a very nice point that that's why this is not good. One should not become an official meditator. Are you following this? There's no way. Now I can select. One should not become an official meditator. Oh, I will think of Krishna. Don't disturb. I'm thinking of Krishna. The child comes and says, Papa, give me food. I'm hungry. Hey, don't disturb me. I'm thinking of Krishna. You are disturbing my man manaha. Okay, that's not the point. So one should not become an official meditator. Life should be so molded that one will always have a chance of thinking of Krishna. One should always act in such a way that all his daily activities are in connection with Krishna. Okay, so if the child is asking for food, you give him prasad. You have cooked prasad with a full Krishna conscious mentality, and you are giving to the child as Krishna, as if you are teaching him how to worship Krishna. You are giving him prasad. He should arrange his life in such a way that throughout the 24 hours, he cannot but think of Krishna. That is the meaning of man manaha bhavamad bhakto. Are you following? So you have to arrange your life in such a way that you become completely Krishna conscious. It doesn't mean that, oh, now I will quit my job or I will stop doing everything else. I will take sannyas and I will become an official meditator. Okay. So that part I wanted to read. All right. So that's the first part of the instruction. Part 1. All right. Now we come to part 2. Any other points I wanted to make? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. No, I missed 50% of it. So this is only first line, A and B. Man mana bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. First line only. Second line is remaining. So you need to pay attention. You should have corrected me that we did not cover C and D. Very important. 0.65 C and D are actually equally important as A and B. So what will happen? What is the result of doing it? The result of doing this is what?
Come to Krishna's abode.
Come to Krishna's abode. Very nice. Ma evaishyasi. Evaishyasi. Okay, Mam evaishyasi.
You will become mine.
Yes, you will come to me. Mam evaishyasi. You will come to me. All right. So this is the result. And look at Krishna's, now we can say Krishna is being arrogant. Come to me. All these things. But look at Krishna's, I will not say humility. All right. I will say desperation. Krishna is so desperate that we should believe him and come to him. We should believe him when he says man manaha bhavamat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. And then you will come to me by doing this. So Krishna is very desperate, or he is very, there is another word that I'm missing. I cannot get it, but I will say that he is very desperate. He is very desperate to convince us that if we do above 4, then we will come to him, or we will come or go to him. He is very desperate to convince us, and he's saying it 3 times. Why I say he's so desperate? 1, 2, 3. What are the 3 things he's saying? Satyam te. I'm telling the truth. Now Krishna is saying the whole Bhagavad Gita. Why he need to say, I am telling the truth. Please don't misunderstand me. Please don't think I'm lying. Satyam te. I'm telling you the truth. Te. Don't think I'm lying to you. What is the opposite of truth? Lying. So he's saying, I'm telling the truth. There is no need for him to say this, but still he's saying this so that to convince us. That is the point. I'm telling the truth. Okay. Then pratijane. Pratijane means like, it is like a promise. I promise you. Promise. Pakka, promise. I will do. I'm telling the truth. And third, prayosime. You are very dear to me. Why will I lie to you? If I have to lie, I will lie to people who I don't like, or for some other thing. Because Krishna used to lie, for butter and this and that. So one can imagine. But then he's saying, it is my interest in butter, eating butter also, it was my interest. I used to get the butter. So I used to lie. In this case, I am going to get you. Why will I lie? You will come to me. I love you so much. So the third point is, I love you. Priyosime, Priya. प्रिय किसको बोलते हैं? Someone you love. So I love you so much. I promise you I'm telling the truth. Don't think I'm lying. Krishna has little bit of a, reputation problem. When he was young, he would lie, he would do all those things. But he would do it for his benefit. And here he is saying that it is for my benefit. So he is showing his desperation to convince us. Don't think I'm telling the truth. I'm telling lies. Please do these things and you will definitely, 100%. We say, Papa promise or something like that. We say, Pinky promise. Like that he is saying. Please, trust me. This is 100% truth. So I don't know about, but I feel I feel that Krishna is really bending over backwards to convince us. He didn't have to do this. After reading full Bhagavad Gita, if still one will have this doubt in his mind, then we have a problem, not Krishna. But still, in spite of that, he is bending backwards to convince us so much that please follow these 4 instructions.
Parental concern.
Hani?
Parental concern kind of.
Parental concern, very nice. Bilkul sahi bol rahe hain. 100%. Parental, like a parent, Okay. Parents, never stop. Sometimes the child has to say, Papa, I got it. It's okay. Don't worry. My children say that many times when I tell them, okay, be careful, do the, got it. All right. So parental concern. Very nice. So that is the second part of the verse. Mam evaishyasi, the result, plus 3 very, very aspects of desperation to convince us. So that is C and D. So there are 4 items in C and D. So there were 4 items in the first part. Manmanaha, Bhavamad Bhakto, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru. Okay. Divided into 2 categories: consciousness and internal, and actions which are external. Within that also there were 2 points so that we don't misunderstand. Madmanaha in a mood of bhakta, and Madhyaji doesn't have to be very, a lot of effort, or it could be very simple, as simple as Mam Namaskuru, as long as it is with the right consciousness. That was first line. Second line was the result, you will come to me, and 3 points to convince us that this is 100%, we must trust Krishna, we must just do it. Close our eyes and do it. He's trying his best to convince us that I am speaking the truth. I promise you, and you are very dear to me. I have no reason to lie to you or tell you anything that is but the whole truth. And then comes 18.66, part 2 of the most important instruction. All right. Very famous verse again. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami ma shuchaha. Okay. So this says that sarva dharman parityajya. So parityajya means give up. Of what? Sarva dharman. So sarva dharman. Sarva dharma need to be tyajya or tyaga, to be given up. So sarva dharma, what is sarva dharma? Everything. Sarva dharma basically means everything. No exceptions. So let us list out some of the things that we have learned in Bhagavad Gita or through the Bhagavad Gita that we must give up. Okay. So the first thing in Sarva Dharman is our material dharmas. So first of all, before that comes adharmas. That also need to be given up. Adharma means sinful activities. It is not even dharma. So it is not even part of this verse. Adharma. So obviously that should not be done. But there are many material dharmas. What are the material dharmas? Everything from chapter 1. Isn't it? Arjun was taking shelter of all the material dharmas. What are the material dharmas? I have to be a good person. I have to be kind. I have to forgive them. These Kauravas who have done so many bad things, compassion, kindness, friendship, family values, they are my friends, all those things. So these are all our material dharmas. And in between these sinful activities and our material dharmas mostly are in the mode of goodness, isn't it? Dharma is about mode of goodness. When we say dharma, the purusharthas, the 4 purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Dharma is all about doing good dharmic activities which are in the mode of goodness or moving gradually to the mode of goodness. So if it is little bit lower than mode of goodness, it could be in the mode of passion also. What are in the mode of passion activities, dharmas, material dharmas? Oh, I will work hard and I will get artha and enjoy kama. So that
Future
is dharma,
consequences.
kama.
Future consequences.
Yeah, future consequences. But for the sake of future consequences, you do dharmic activities motivated by kama or artha, and which will lead to kama. Kama means desire for enjoyment, any kind of enjoyment. So that is, it could include mode of passion activities leading up to the mode of goodness activities. Anything that helps you to enjoy also is part of dharma, as long as it is legal. Illegal is part of sinful, and that should anyway be given up anyway. So those are our material dharmas. All of those should be given up. All of those. And one thing we must realize that in a more practical sense, material dharmas also mean everything that we take shelter of. So every shelter. So when we say that, in the next line, Lord Krishna will say, Ma mekam sharanam vraja, which means give up the sharan of your dharmas. Sarva dharman, I can, if I'm allowed to change the verse, I would rephrase, or I could phrase it as sarva dharman sharanam parityajya. The shelter of the various dharmas give up. So what are the every shelter that we have? What are the various shelters that we have? So please think everything, all the material shelters that we have discussed so far in the last 4 minutes, 3 minutes. What are they? Something like my friends, right? They are my friends.
Family shelter.
Family, friends, we can put it in one bucket. Okay. Then, oh, I must
Professional
be
shelter.
kind.
Professional shelter.
Yeah, so my job is my shelter. So one second. So before we run down the list, okay, let us go back to what are the shelters that we have talked about: family, friends, kindness, compassion. Job, we can say our occupation. Okay, all these things are there. Then artha kama also talk about that. So our money, our possessions, property. Okay, then our various objects
Our
of
achievements,
enjoyment.
educational.
Okay, so all our we can say our intelligence,
Our ahankar.
ahankar. Okay, we'll I don't know how to phrase that, so let's keep it that way. Our intelligence, our strength, etc. Okay, so why are we listing all this down? The reason I am listing all this down is that ultimately through all of these I have something to gain. Isn't it? Yes, we can say we care about our friends and family, but what do I have to gain? One, at a lower level, you can think that, okay, if I love them, they will take care of me. Someday they will take care of me. That can be one reason. One must realize, and some of you may have realized, that always the friends may not come, family and friends may not come for your, to look out for you. There is a saying, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Isn't it? Or there is another saying, something like that, basically similar, that a friend is known when when he helps, or when he, in good times everybody is a friend, but in bad times who comes and helps you is the real friend. So friends and family may not come when we need. So we must realize that these are all very, very temporary shelters.
Shelter is basically
temporary-
attachment, sir.
Nahi, not attachment. Hold on.
Okay.
Temporary, which means it may be reliable, but it is temporary, it will go away. Or even worse, it is unreliable. Shelter means something that we go to. It is not our attachment, but it gives us something which we are attached to. It is the provider of our attachment. Are you following?
Yeah.
We expect to get something for our pleasure from these shelters. So from friends and family, what do we get? Maybe some help, some care, or if not anything, then at least some love, some acknowledgement, some sense of reciprocation. Okay? If you call your friend and if he doesn't even pick your call, then it's not a friend. At least he picks a call, hey, I am very busy, but I see that you called and I just wanted to let you know I'm busy. I will call you back. That is better, no? Instead of not picking the call at all. So some sense of reciprocation at least. Sometimes we don't get that. No reciprocation at all. You think you are doing, but you don't receive reciprocation. So friends and family, kindness. Kindness, why do we do kindness to others? So that one thing is, we can expect kindness from them. Okay, that is first point. Another reason for doing kindness is that somehow the universe will give back kindness to me. Law of karma will give back kindness to us. We expect kindness in the future. We expect some punya karma. Why punya karma? So that we will enjoy later. Beggars say, no, Bhagawaan kya? Baba ek paisa de, Bhagawaan 100 crore dega. Isn't it? That's what beggars in India say. You give me 1 paisa, God will give you 100 crores or 100 million or whatever. So that is why we do kindness to others, so that we expect in the future. Our job, our occupation, yes, we have some, material shelter. We'll have a source of income, a source of putting food on the table. Money, property, same thing, various objects, enjoyment, same, all those things. Our intelligence, our strength. Okay, if I'm laid off, no problem. These days, all these layoffs are going on in the industry. No problem. I'm a smart guy, very intelligent. If they, I will immediately get hired elsewhere. So like that, you rely on your strength, on your intelligence to continue to obtain objects of your attachment, or to continue with your enjoyment. So all these dharmas, we must understand that they are temporary. At best they are temporary. Even if they are reliable, they are not permanent. They are very short-lived, isn't it? You may have a very good friend, but if he's less older than you, one day he will die. Then what will happen? He's gone. Okay. All these things, strength doesn't remain forever. Intelligence also doesn't remain forever. Money, property, job, occupation, none of this remains. kindness also will not remain after you die. You are dead, your kindness dies with you. Okay. So all these are temporary and in the worst case unreliable, and in the absolute worst case they are our illusion that we have a shelter where you had none. Not only it is unreliable, it is 100% reliable that it is doesn't exist. It is 100% false shelter, 100% reliably unavailable, reliably absent. Okay, so that is the nature of material shelters. So what Lord Krishna is saying, these are all material shelters, that all those sarva dharman. And recently, very recently, in a broad sense, very broad sense, Lord Krishna talked about Varnashram dharma. It is known as Varnashram dharma in 18.40 to 18.48. If you have forgotten, you can go and look back. We talked about the subhava of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and how one should act according to one's subhava. So the Varnashram dharma was described. All that is there, that those are material dharma. Varnashram is material. The point is that Varnashram is a system in which the society as a whole can make spiritual progress, but the system itself is material. Everything give up. Lord Krishna is saying, give up everything. Sarva dharman parityajya. So that is part, that is 18.66a, sarva dharman parityajya. Now 18.66b, mam ekam sharanam vraja. So take the one and only shelter, ekam. Ekam means one and only, exclusive, not trying to put your leg in two boats. Give up everything. He could have said, Mam Sharanam Raja. Mam Sharanam Raja means, okay, I will come to your Sharanam, but I will maintain all my other shelters. So in the very beginning of the class, I think I had pointed you to this 3 stone carriers story. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So don't be like the second person. What did he do? What did the second person do?
Carried the stones and crossed the river.
Yes, he carried the stones and tried to cross the river, both at the same time. So he tried to keep his attachments and tried to go to the other side to the Lord or his devotees. That doesn't work. The third guy, what he did? He left his stone bag of stones. He gave it up. And then he took shelter of the devotees. That is what works. So that is why there are 2 parts, A and B. 18.66a says give up, and 18.66b says take up. Give up what? Material shelters. And take up what? Spiritual shelter. So that is the difference between A and B. You have to give up and you have to take. Just taking spiritual shelter is good, very good, but it is only a medium. It is a transition. At the final stage of mature bhakti, you have to give up all material shelters. And give up does not mean physically give up. Give up means give up in consciousness, just like the Pandavas. Even after Mahabharat war, Yudhishthira Maharaj became king. He had all this, opulence, and he accepted the position of king. He didn't say after Mahabharat, or Arjuna didn't say, okay, Maharaj Yudhishthira, you go become king. I have heard Bhagavad Gita. I will go to the forest now. War is over. I will do my bhajan. He didn't say that. He helped Yudhishthira to rule the kingdom. Very much he helped. But mentally, consciousness wise, he was completely detached. He was Madmanaha, Bhavamad Bhakto, and every day he used to do Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru. All the time he used to do. He was completely unattached to all these shelters. Material shelters, he was completely unattached to. His mind was always focused on Krishna. He was always Mam Ekam Sharanam. Okay. So give up and take up. And then 18.66c is talking about the result. What is the result? I will write off aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami. All sinful activities, all sinful reactions. Now, it doesn't mean papa in this context does not mean sinful. It means all the karmic reactions, sin and pious, punya and papa. So not only punya and papa, but also in two contexts, which is prarabdha and aprarabdha. Prarabdha means those that have become mature or have become fructified. There are two types of reactions that are in kind of dormant stage in a cold storage. They are in the refrigerator, freezer. Someday they will be taken out and they will manifest. You following? Just like when you smoke a cigarette. Okay. Do you get cancer the next day? When do you get cancer?
You may or may not.
No, okay.
When you
can
had
try it.
enough, when you had enough
When
of
it affects your lungs.
So it takes many years. You do it for long enough, you will definitely get. Okay. And yes, you may die of natural death before that, but if you had infinite life, definitely it will lead to that. So yes, death may occur before that. So you can say, okay, I outlived it. That's what it means, you may or may not. But it definitely is an agent that causes it slowly. It is just that the speed of it was not fast enough. So the point is that every cigarette you smoke is adding to whatever that is getting deposited in your lungs or whatever is happening. Every cigarette is doing it, isn't it? Just that the final effect will come later. It is like each cigarette you smoke is going into a cold storage. It is adding points, isn't it? The result will manifest later. That is known as aprarabhdha karma. It is getting deposited. The effect will be there. It's not being forgotten. Smoker cannot say, see, I smoked a cigarette, I didn't get cancer. You guys are all, making it up. That's not the case. That is aprarabdha karma, karma which has not yet produced any visible reaction. And prarabdha karma means which has fructified. So all type of reactions, prarabdha and aprarabdha, good kind and bad kind, sinful, pious, everything will be, Lord Krishna says, I will remove. So aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami. And then finally, the last part, again, desperation to convince. Ma shuchaha. Don't worry, come. Are you following? Don't worry, come to me. And not only come to me, take my shelter. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. And mam ekam, it is kind of like a little bit of a, you can think of it like a gang lord. You have to be part of my gang. If I see you talking to the other guys, like that in a movie, you have to be like demanding loyalty, That's what a gang lord does, demands loyalty. So one can say, Mam ekam sharanam. Oh, he's demanding all this loyalty. Why isko kya problem hai? If I go somewhere else, he should be open-minded. He should be God should be broad-minded. All those things. but that divides our attention. We cannot fully submit to one. Okay. The love is maximized, or it truly fructifies, when it is directly between exactly two people. If you have been in a loving relationship, you will realize that. Okay. So desperation to convince is there in Ma Shucha. So all these points we see. And in the purport, both Sri Baladeva Vidya Bhushan and Sri Vishvanatha Chakravarthy Thakur, as well as Srila Prabhupada, who has derived his commentaries from them, are quoting this beautiful verse that anukulyasya sankalpah pratikulyasya varjanam. So why this is being quoted, I just want to draw a reference to this. So 18.66, and those of you that may be connected to the fast-paced version that we are doing on Sunday, we recently covered 7.28. Okay, so what does 7.28 say? Yesham tva antagata papam jananam punya karmanam te dvanda moha vinirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. So what Krishna is saying over there is that those who have Yesham tva antagata papam, who have given up antagata, who have given up all the paths, all the activities of papa, jananam punya karmana, and have invested themselves in punya karma, and then finally they are free of the duality also. Next step, no punya papa, no duality, dvanda moha vinirmukta, and finally at the stage of bhajante mam dridhavrataha, with very, very dridhavrata, very strong determination, they are doing my bhajan. So that is the process that is given in 7.28. All right. And Lord Krishna is saying here that you just do this, what is mentioned here, sarva dharman parityajya. Just take my shelter. But one should not mistake, there should not be a misunderstanding that you can discard, you can reject 7.28 and you do only 18.66. That is not the point. All right. That, oh, I have submitted to Krishna, I have taken shelter of Krishna. All right. Now I can do whatever I want. Krishna will do sarva papebhyo mokshishyami. He will cancel all my sin. That is like that concept, Monday to Saturday, you go and do sinful action, and Sunday you go in confession box and, confess all your sin. You get, relief. Then again on Monday, you start doing sinful actions. All right. So that is not recommended. And that is why Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse, Anukulya, the meaning of Sharanam. Mam ekam Sharanam Vraja. Yes, Ramakant Prabhu, you have a question? I will come back. Hold on. Mam ekam Sharanam Vraja. So in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Sanatana Goswami quotes this verse. This is from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Sri Sanatana Goswami. This very beautiful verse has been quoted. Let me show you. Anukulyasya sankalpah pratikulyasya varjanam. And there are 6 items here. I will explain briefly what are the 6 items, but last line is Shad Vidha Sharanagati. Sharanagati means to take Sharana. These are the 6 items. Shad Vidha Sharanagati. 6 processes or 6 ways, 6 vidhis of taking Sharana of Krishna. And the first one is, the first 2 are Anukulyasya Sankalpaha. What's going on? And Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Varjana means to give up. Sankalpa means to make a determination to do something What is to do something? Anukulyasya. Anukul to Krishna, you must do, and pratikul, you must give up. Give up what is, so one must not be like taking shelter of Krishna, but continuing to do pratikul activities. That is not the right understanding. You must give up bad things. So, and then there are 4 more. And by the way, this verse, if you want a nice translation and a anvaya or word by word meaning, you can go to Chaitanya Charitamrita and Madhya Leela, chapter 22 and verse number 100. Very easy to remember. This exact same verse is there. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam. Next one is rakshishyati iti vishwaso. If you do the first 2, doing activities favorable to Krishna, avoiding activities that are unfavorable to our bhakti or to Krishna, rakshishyati, and have vishwas, you must have the faith, the confidence that Krishna will protect me. I am a devotee and Krishna will protect me. Okay, so that vishwas, you don't have to do anything. It is just an internal confidence. The remaining are all internal. The first 2 are external. Only the first 2 are external. The remaining 4 are based on our consciousness, our faith, our belief. So, but still there are 2 you have to do, which means doing activities favorable to Krishna and avoiding activities that are unfavorable. Then have the confidence that Krishna will protect me. Gop tritve varanam tatha. And considering Krishna to be our maintainer, whatever he gives, little bit even if he gives, we should think that that is enough for our maintenance. Like a poor father may give only rice and dal to a child. Rich father may give paneer, naan, sabji, this, that. But even the child of poor father knows, my father is giving according to his means. He never complains. The child knows this is our, our level. We will be happy here. Father is doing his best to maintain me according to my benefit. Not that Krishna is poor, but remaining happy. The point is remaining happy in whatever the father gives. Okay, not complaining, why you didn't give me this, why you didn't give me that. You gave this to other boy, the other one, why not to me? Not like that. Krishna is giving us more than enough for our maintenance. That is Gop Tritve Varanam Tatha Atma Nikshepa. And surrendering ourselves to Krishna and Karpanye in a mood of humility. So these are the 6 processes of Sharanagati. Okay, so that is the meaning of this verse. But the first 2 are very important because it involves our actions, doing and avoiding. So we must still do that. We must definitely do that. We cannot just say, I have surrendered to Krishna. Now I can do whatever nonsense I want. It is his duty to do mokshashyami. What is that? What is that? Sarva papebhyo mokshashyami. Why you didn't give me relief from my pap? No, it doesn't work that way. Sharan means you should stop doing sinful activities. Okay. So I want to bring up an important point here. So that was the connection 0.66 to 7.28. So what is written there is correct, that one should stop doing sinful activities. One should do punya activities, but ultimately one should give up the whole thing. Dvandoha vinirmukta, and only do bhajan. Bhajante mam dridha vrataha. So there is a sequence in 7.28. First come from papa to punya, then give up the concept of papa and punya completely, vinirmudvandamoha, and then do bhajan. So there is a sequence, a gradation, level 1, 2, 3 above. So the point I wanted to bring up is that in sadhana bhakti, also there are levels, 2 levels, 2 broad levels, 2 stages. One is known as Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And the second is known as Raga or Raga Nuga sadhana bhakti. Okay. So Vaidhi sadhana bhakti means all these via the processes. Vaidhi. Just like we discussed, Shad Vidha, the process you have to do. So there are certain do's and don'ts. But in Raga Nuga, there are no do's and don'ts. No do's and don'ts. Okay. So it is not like you have to do, like, if you are in the Vaidhi sadhan bhakti, you have to do 3 times, you must do whatever sankalpa you have taken. I will do arati of Bhagawaan 3 times. I will offer bhoga. I will do this. I will, so many, you can take vows, sankalpa of doing so many activities. That is our process of practice, of building the muscle. And then Raganuga sadhan bhakti means that one is a very highly elevated devotee. Those who know the various stages, the 9 stages from Shraddha to Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, then Anartha Nivritti, then Nishtha, then Ruchi, Asakti. Raganuga Bhakti comes at the level of Bhava and Prema. So at a very advanced level, one is not obligated to follow the rules, the do's and don'ts. But it doesn't mean that these Raganuga Sadhan Bhakti people are ruffians. Never. Never. Externally, if you see, they will look just like the Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti people. They may not be following certain, okay, I take it back. It's not like they look equal to, but by looking at them, you can say that they are pure devotees. All their activities will be full of devotional activities. Okay. So it is not that they have fallen down. And these are the people, the advanced people, they have reached to that stage of Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. They have completely surrendered to Krishna, but there is no more need that sarva papa, what is that? Sarva pape bhyo mokshishyami. They are not committing any papa. Not at all. They will be the most gentle, most sweet, most nice people ever. Okay. So this must be understood, that it is not a license that if you take Sharana of Bhagwan, then you can demand. There is no demand that you can do of Mam Ekam, of Sarva Pape Bhyo Mokshishyami. Never. One still continues to follow all the previous stages of previous to Bhava and Prema. What are those stages? If you don't know, let me just write it down. Starts with Shraddha. So you will see these topmost devotees have a lot of Shraddha, 100% Shraddha in Bhagavan. Then Sadhu Sangha. They are also always very eager to be in Sangha of Sadhu, of devotees. Sadhu means devotees. They very much love to be in association of each other, the devotees. The third is Bhajan Kriya, very, very strong. They are always involved in doing bhajan. You will never see them doing any materialistic or non-devotional activity. Then comes the stage of Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti means removing all your bad qualities, anarthas. So most of 99.99% anartha has been removed for them already. And they are not adding more anartha at all. Okay. So Anartha Nivritti stage has also been reached. Anartha Nivritti when happens, when you have anarthas. When you don't even have anarthas, no need for any Anartha Nivritti. So Anartha Nivritti also they are doing. Then Nishtha. Nishtha means determination. They have total 100% determination for Krishna. You may not follow rules and regulations, like a mother who is very dedicated to the child. She doesn't have to follow rules. Love has no rules, but love has all these things. Then comes Nishtha, then Ruchi. Ruchi means interest. They have 100% interest in Krishna. And Asakti means attachment or addiction. They cannot live without Krishna. And then comes the last two stages of bhava and prema. So they are at this level. This is the bhava and prema are the two highest levels. So that is the stage which is mentioned in 18.66. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. And Krishna removes, but they are still following. They still follow all these, but very naturally, not by force, very naturally, as second nature, we say. Just naturally. All right. So those who have reached this stage of Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, it doesn't mean that they can go on and do all sorts of nonsense activities for which they will need Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami. No need for anything because that has already been taken. Another important point, removing sinful or removing the karmic reaction. As part of Vaidhi sadhan bhakti, as part of the rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts, one very, very important point in your spiritual journey, it is very, very, very important to take spiritual diksha, spiritual initiation by a bona fide guru. Very important. When the guru gives initiation, then all the past sinful reactions, when I say sinful, it means karmic reactions, all of them are removed at the time of initiation. So in a bona fide sampradaya, when one takes initiation from a bona fide guru, at that time, all the papa, punya, karmic reactions, prarabhdha, aprarabhdha, everything is taken away. Okay. So this, for those who are very seriously interested in their spiritual progress, one must consider this as a very, very important point. And one gets a new life at that point, and then one must commit to not make any more anarthas, and one must very sincerely practice their bhajan. So that is when, that is one of the steps or one of the first points when Krishna takes away all the sinful reactions at the time of spiritual initiation. So those of you who are considering this seriously, please remember this point, that this who are trying to make serious progress in your spiritual journey, this is almost a essential mandatory step in the spiritual journey. Okay. Now within ISKCON is a bona fide sampradaya in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya under Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tree. There are many bona fide spiritual masters. You can take shelter of any of them and take spiritual initiation from one of so many nice, there are so many nice spiritual masters, and it's not like they are preaching their own philosophy. They are all preaching and sharing and speaking everything 100% which Srila Prabhupada speaks. They are simply calling themselves as representatives of Srila Prabhupada. So you can, please consider this as a future step for yourselves. It requires one to be a good Vaishnava, do the activities of bhakti, most importantly Shravanam and Kirtanam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, behaving properly as a devotee, and at a sort of a more objective level, at a counting level, you have to chant 16 malas of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. Okay, so that is the requirement, but please, and the 4 regulative principles, which many of you may be doing: no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sex. So these are the 4 regulative principles, and chanting 16 rounds and being a good Vaishnava. Follow reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam little bit every day or at least every week, and developing a good character. So that is the requirement. But please consider this as a very, very important point. That is the point, one of the points when Krishna takes away all the sinful reactions. All right. Then we will cover remaining ones next time. Or we can cover 67. Are there any questions? Yes, Ramakant Prabhu, you were raising your hand. You know what? I need a 1-minute break. Just hold on. I will be right back. Okay, Hare Krishna. So questions. So before questions, before people start dropping off, just a couple of announcements. So we covered till 66 today, and this goes till 78. So we have to cover 12 more verses, and we will be completing 12 verses in the next class. So next class will definitely be the last class. Point number 1. Point number 2, please stay connected. There are so many other classes that we are doing. Saturday, we do the various Shastric study, even though as of now it is part of Bhakti Shastri, but it is open to everyone. The classes, we are studying a beautiful book called Upadeshamritam. Please join for the Saturday classes. Please stay connected in some way. Don't let this Bhagavad Gita series be a one-time thing in your life. And you're most welcome to revise Bhagavad Gita by joining the Sunday evening class as well, which is more fast-paced. We are already on 8th chapter. To reach 8 chapters, I think we took some 8 months. This we are doing in 2 months. 8 chapters we finished. 7 chapters. Then another thing, just now my wife told me to announce, I forgot. Yes, in 2 weeks from now, a very, very senior and one of my dearmost devotees is coming to Portland, Hari Parshad Prabhu. So he lives in Mumbai in India. He is a Pakka Vaishnava, just like I was saying, in character as well as in knowledge, in all aspects. I respect him heavily. He will be coming to Portland for a 6-day visit. So please come, those who are in Portland, and take his association, listen to his classes. You can listen to his online classes too, Hari Parshad Das. You can look him up on YouTube. In Portland, classes will only be in person. No Zoom, no anything, no internet, just old style, face to face. So
Which location, sir?
various locations. Email
Like
will be
in
sent-
Portland, where?
various locations.
Okay. Okay.
You will receive email and you can join. And please do take that opportunity to join that very senior, sincere. You'll really benefit. And then consider joining Bhakti Shastri if you would like. You know, it's a next level of commitment to understand Shastra. One of the other things it does is forces you to, you know, start chanting japa. And if you are not doing, or you're doing some, you know, it takes you to 16 rounds, and that can be a prime, you know, step towards taking diksha, towards spiritual initiation as well. What else? That's it, right? Yeah. So anyway, so last class will be next time, and then we will see what else to do on Friday. We will do something after that. After this, we will take a little break, and then we'll see what to do. Okay, questions? Some devotees raised hands. Ramakant Prabhu, you raised your hand.
Yeah, actually, you have elaborated already, Prabhuji, this 1866 and compared with 728. I think वो पहले मुर्गी की पहले अंडा वाली बात ये है दोनों में, माम एक भजन्ते माम दृढ़व्रता, और दोनों वो है कि माम एकम शरणम व्रज हम स्वाम स्वल्पाप्येव मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचि. So they are interdependent. They are vicious circle. They are in circle. If you mamekam saranam braja, then हम ताम स्वल्पाप्येभ्यो और ये है ये सा त्वंत गरम पापा जनानाम पुण्य कर्मणाम ते द्वंद्व मोह विमुक्ता भजन्ते मातृण होता. So they are interdependent, not exclusive.
Okay, I didn't get the question.
That
fully.
was my addition.
Okay.
Now you have already elaborated the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to summarize,
Thank you.
thank you. Just to summarize, the point is that we need to begin by making our effort. All
Yeah.
right. I actually thank you for bringing it up. I think I did not say this fully or correctly. No, I said it correctly, I feel, but I did not say it fully. The point is this. Please, okay, this is very important point. Everybody listen up. Okay, this is a point of confusion. So please pay attention, right? Okay, very important point. Ding, 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 ding. Very important point. We have so many past karmas from millions and millions of lifetimes. And in each lifetime, we accumulate millions and millions and millions of karma. By our own effort, it is impossible to eliminate all of them. But it doesn't mean we should not start. So 7.28 is saying we should start. Okay? We should start putting in our effort. And that is what in those 9 stages anartha nivritti means. But even if one lifetime, what to speak of one lifetime, in millions of lifetimes, we cannot finish all the anartha nivritti that we have accumulated, all the anarthas that we have accumulated in the millions and billions of lifetimes. So we definitely need Krishna's help. And that is what Krishna is saying, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. All right. So we must first put in our attempt, a sincere attempt. And that is what is meant by mam ekam sharanam vraja. And in that mam ekam sharanam vraja, there is already anukulyasya sankalpaha and pratikulyasya varjanam. All right. So we must start on that path of sharanam, taking sharan. As part of taking sharan, means it's not just a mental declaration. Like in a Hindi movie, you say, "Mujhe tumse pyar ho gaya," love at first sight. You cannot just declare, "Today, Krishna, I have taken your sharan." No. That is very hollow. It is very hollow form of sharan. Taking sharan of Krishna means to demonstrate our attempt to do the anartha nivritti. But it is impossible for us to do it fully. So Krishna is saying, when you take my Sharan, of which is included your attempt, it may be completely insufficient, a tiny attempt, but I must see your attempt. That is included in taking Sharan. When Krishna says, Maam Ekam Sharan. And then Krishna says, whatever 99% is left, I will remove it. Are you following? So it is not like, Bhagwan, main tumhari sharan mein aa gaya, like you see in some movies, in old Hindi movies, Amitabh Bachchan movie, he was a big, whatever, bad guy. And in the last scene, he goes to the temple and takes Sharan of Bhagwan. And then, all the, it has a happy ending. Not like that. Are you following? So it is not just a simple, it is not just a simple hollow declaration that I have taken your Sharan. It has to be substantial. It has to be full of substance. And that substance is shown by our humble attempt at anartha nivritti. So it is in a sense, there is no circular dependency. There is anartha nivritti as part of our taking Sharan, but that is only 1% because there is too much anartha. And then Krishna removes the 99%. Are you following? So it is still sequential. Yeah, it is still sequential. There is no circularity. There is no, as we say, self-referential pointer in computer science. Self-referential pointer is a bug. So there is no bugs in Bhagavad Gita. It is bug-free code. Bhagavad Gita is 100% bug-free. Okay?
I had to mean only this thing, the dvandva moh nirmukta. Mamekam saranam braj. Mamekam saranam, if one mamekam saranam, they immediately become dvandva moh nirmukta.
Yes, absolutely. Mamekam sharanam vraja, the stage of Mamekam sharanam vraja is equal to the last part of 7.28, which is bhajante mam dridhavrataha. That is where the sharan becomes sthir, or it becomes nishthavan, nishtha-purvak. That is nishtha-purvak sharan, when one does bhajante mam dridhavrataha. But before that, one still has to do a small attempt. Not from his point, it is a full attempt. But in the large scheme of things, it is a tiny one drop. He has to do that of anartha nivritti. All right.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
All right. Who else had raised hand? I see Subhash Prabhu's hand, but there were other devotees, I think, who might have raised hand. I saw Prasoon Prabhu's hand at one point. I just want to go into the sequence, but...
Prabhuji, I just wanted to understand the process of Diksha. I mean, you already explained that, so that question was answered.
Okay, all right. Anything else? Anybody else before we go to Subhash?
Probably in the 9th chapter also, and Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mame Vaishyasi Satyam Te, in the 18th chapter he says. But in the 9th chapter he says, Yuktvaiva Atmanam Matparayanam.
Yeah, so same meaning, very similar meaning. And that is why he's saying Bhuyaha. Again, I am telling you. So Lord Krishna is already saying that I have already told this. The first line is the same in 18.65 as in 9.34. The first line is the same. And that is exactly why he's saying that. The second line is little different, where he says, again he says, Ma mevashyasi, but yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. You will come to me. But in the 18th chapter, he is giving other reasons. He is showing his desperation. In the 9th chapter, that desperation is not 100% visible. He's just saying, Yuktvaivam atmanam matprayana. What you have to do? You have to be engaged like this and put your mind on me. Atmanam matparayana. That desperation is not being shown. That desperation is being shown only in the 18th chapter and only in these 2 verses. Lord Krishna is showing desperation. How much he wants us to come to him. So that desperation aspect is not anywhere else in Bhagavad Gita. Nowhere. Nowhere. Only in these 2 verses. And that too not directly. Our acharyas and through the commentaries, we understand, we can sense, we can feel the desperation. Why he has to say, Ma Shuchah, don't worry. I am telling the truth. I promise. All these are, looks like, you know, a way to convince us. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Subhash Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
There are two things. One is, you know, जो प्रभु जी आने वाले हैं पोर्टलैंड में, does he live here in Mumbai or somewhere
Bilkul,
else?
he lives there. He goes to Radha Ras Bihari ji. I'm surprised you don't know him. Or you,
I must be knowing him by face, but
by face, yes.
Name and face is not synchronized. So request
I will show you the face in just 1 second. And anyway,
you send me his name also on my personal chat, his picture and name both. Because Thursday I normally go to the temple, Radha Ras Bihari ji. Thursday we have a class or Bhagavatam.
Here, that's his face.
I think he is regularly giving talks here.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I have got it. Thank you so much. तो ये जो आपने मेरे को दिखाया है इसको मेरे को.
Are you seeing my PowerPoint?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So his name is Hari Parshad Prabhu.
Hari Prasad. हाँ,
Prasad नहीं. Prasad नहीं भैया. Parshad.
Yes.
Parshad मतलब associate.
Yes. Parshad is yes. Okay.
Parshad
that was one.
Bhagwan की जैसे Hanuman ji we say is a Parshad of Lord Ram. Parshad means associate. या उनके परिकर.
तो ये PowerPoint का ये पार्ट मेरे को टेक्स्ट कर दीजिए WhatsApp पे.
अच्छा ठीक है.
मैं Thursday को जाऊंगा तो I'll meet him.
अभी वो अमेरिका अभी वो अब वो आएंगे बॉम्बे वापस जुलाई या अगस्त में. अभी वो टूर पे निकले हुए हैं.
He is already left Mumbai.
अभी चले गए हैं. मतलब वो समर में अपनी कथा करने विश्व भर में भ्रमण करने कथा करने जाते हैं. अलग अलग लोगों को अपना एसोसिएशन देने के लिए
पोर्टलैंड कब आ रहे हैं?
15 अप्रैल को.
15 अप्रैल को. अच्छा, हम लोग का 29th को आ रहे हैं सियाटल.
अच्छा, वेरी नाइस.
29th से फिर 6 weeks we'll be in Seattle. Then we are going to Chicago for 4-5 days, and then we'll go to Sunnyvale. That is the plan. And my question was, this is about all the planning and logistics kind of thing. But my question is, which is kind of impacting me emotionally. But I know Lord Krishna is very benevolent to us, very kind to us all the time. But sometimes because of some reason of your physical, like you have a toothache or some such issues, so you are, and particularly you must have seen that I'm very painfully, but I am irregularly regular for the class. So initially I was totally every week I was there. Every Saturday morning this was a regular routine for me. But of late there was quite a disturbance in the sense that I was not able to log in kiya, and suddenly that excruciating, very painful thing, and then I said I can't do it both.
No problem.
So is this offense of mine is pardonable by Krishna?
I don't think it's an offense. आपको अगर कुछ if you have a bodily discomfort and you cannot attend the class, the offense is when you think that Bhagavad Gita is not important for me.
No, that is.
I'm just telling you. I'm just stating.
Yeah.
Okay, not able to attend a particular class is not an offense. Not able to attend a class at a particular time is not an offense. Not able to attend a class at all is not an offense. The most important thing is to read and to internalize Krishna's message. And even if you don't read Krishna's message, if one has internalized Krishna's message, that is also enough. Even reading, because there are so many illiterate people who do not know how to read or write or anything. Does it mean they will become offensive? Not at all.
Yeah.
So the offense becomes when one considers that Bhagavad Gita is irrelevant for me, or the message of Bhagavad Gita is not important or doesn't apply to me. That is the offense. As long as in some way, whether through this class or somebody else's class, or by reading no class, or in some way hearing only from whoever, in whichever way you are getting the message and internalizing the message. That is all that is needed. Everything else is a sadhan. That's why this is called sadhan bhakti. Sadhan matlab it is a means to a goal, means to an end. End is to understand, internalize the message and reach to the level of bhava and prema. That's why this is called sadhan bhakti. We always say, sometimes we say sadhana. The sadhan bhakti. Sadhana means our sadhana is the sadhan, is the means. So please understand, this is all part of sadhan bhakti. Sadhan means it is a means. The end goal is bhava and prema of Bhagwan.
Ji Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Clarifying my doubt.
Thank you very much.
So when I come to Seattle, we'll fine tune how we can.
Yes,
Our
please.
daughter lives, Pallavi lives in Belltown, Seattle, is almost downtown. So,
We will make
I
a
don't know. I
plan
think
to-
it'll be
somehow we
about
will
3
meet.
hours. 3 hours to Portland, right?
Yes. We will make a plan.
We'll see how we can organize a trip there. Or if you come to Seattle, then we would like to welcome you. And
Yes. That will be a good opportunity for us to drive to Seattle.
yeah, definitely.
All right. Anything else?
Hare Krishna.
Anyone?
Hare Krishna.
Last and final call for today. If not,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
thank you so much. Next week, last class. And please enjoy the reading of Bhagavad Gita in the meantime. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare
Jai Ho Shri
Krishna. Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare